Even the people who did it back then at COVID vaccines are inappropriate.
So if we want to have a really good understanding of what is happening right now in the United States politics, it's a really good time to re-examine this film, Equilibrium. Now, the film stars Christian Bale, who's playing a character Preston, and Taye Diggs, who plays a character Brant. This film is set in a futuristic post-World War III world where a regime has eliminated war by suppressing emotions. Books, art, and music are strictly forbidden, and feelings is a crime punishable by death. Cleric John Preston, played by Christian Bale, is a top-ranking government agent responsible for destroying those who resist these rules. When he misses a dose of Prozium, a mind-altering drug that hinders emotion, Preston, who has been trained to enforce strict laws of the new regime, suddenly becomes the one capable of overthrowing it. In the film, as you can see with the picture behind me, the tones in the film are completely muted, right? So everything is pretty dark and gray and gloomy, if you will. The only time that you actually start to see any kind of color is at a particular moment, which for me signifies the hypocrisy in what is happening in that world. Now, maybe somebody else is going to interpret that differently, but for me, I was like, wait a minute, what is that? Y'all remember the first time that Preston sees Brant in white? For me, that really signified how much privilege that Brant is likely allowed, because the entire population around them is enforced to not have emotions and wear these dark colors. And then all of a sudden, this person who's a part of the oppressive class is in white. Where you do that at? So basically, the regime imposes these rigid rules of dress on everybody else, but there's people within that structure that can wear bright colors. What is that telling you? Now, we'll see the white again appear in closer to the end of the film, and this, I think the entire aspect of white is closer to the end of the film. I'm doing this off memory. We see it again when Christian Bale is on his way to meet Father. Now, Father is the unseen leader of this totalitarian regime. And then in the film, while it's revealed that Father is actually not even existing, is this starting to sound familiar to you? The system or his imagery is being manipulated by, let me check my notes. Let's see, Vice Consul DuPont, played by Angus Macfadyen. And behind the scenes, he is the true leader. Is this starting to sound familiar? Y'all, I'm somehow managing to accidentally change the colors on my ring light, and I don't know how I'm doing it. Anyway, I think I'm back. So, at the end of the film, Christian Bale does the pow, 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 and destroys everybody around him as he goes to meet Father, or who he thinks was Father, whoever is controlling Father. And right there in that end scene, we see that he comes across DuPont and Brant. And in the nick of time, he ends Brant with 3 strokes, baby. So now he comes upon Father, who, interestingly enough, yeah, he's in black, but then he almost pleads for his life. I wish I had a clip to insert here, but I don't. Now, it's important to point out that I had to record this so many times I don't remember. It's important to point out that while Preston did see DuPont in white, which indicated privilege, when we see Preston in white, it indicates something completely different, which is him completely being accepting that he actually has emotions and that he is he's plugged out of the system. He's like, I'm out of this matrix, and I'm coming to tear things up. We get to the scene where Bale is just like, all right, what's up? What's good? And then DuPont is on some, I too have emotions, and basically trying to manipulate Preston to spare his existence. Like, we're the same person. I can feel too. And then, spoiler alert, he gets got. Now you're like, what does this have to do with RFK Jr.? Well, it has everything to do with RFK Jr. and the current regime that is staging a coup in the White House. Now, in the past week, we saw the cousin of RFK Jr., Caroline Kennedy, step forward and speak out against RFK Jr. and say, don't trust him, don't believe him. You cannot appoint this man into this position because he is a liar. He is a hypocrite. And one of the very interesting things that she said about him was while he sits there and he spews these anti-vaxxer rhetoric, he actually is vaccinated and vaccinates his kids as well. Now, I know for a lot of you, because y'all are living in some kind of weird world of privilege, that maybe you weren't paying attention, but it either was last year or the year before, the lid came off on a lot of those far right commentators, TV personalities, such from like people from the Fox News network and like the Joe Rogans and whatnot, and how the veil was lifted and it was revealed that a lot of the things that they say they actually do not believe. They put it out for you because they want to feed into your ignorance, and they want to control you, and they want to make you sick, and they want to oppress you in unimaginable ways that I don't know. I think boys, this is how the certain boys get attention. It's like, instead of being attention for being like the good guy for real, and doing amazing things to bring society together so people can live in peace, it's like, you know what? I'm bored, I'm resentful, and let's start some mess. And let's spew out misinformation and create hysteria within the community and pit the communities against each other that actually really need each other. Because I don't know, maybe it's fun for them. Basically what I'm getting at is that the oppressive class is going to oppress you with misinformation. Everything they're telling you not to do, they're not following that. So I know back in the day, I used to hear like this kind of a saying where it's like, if they tell you to eat fish, you should probably like eat rice or something, because no matter what they're telling you to do, I promise you, they are not putting themselves in that situation where they can be eliminated. Basically, power structures are operating under hypocrisy. While they enforce these strict codes of conduct for the public, they are exempting themselves from those very rules. So you can imagine, like, they're talking about XYZ, this is not good or that's bad, baby. Like, even with the shutting down of the testing and the hospitals and the medication, if you think that these people have not armed themselves with the very things that they're trying to, or they have literally stripped from the public, you are living in another reality and you need to wake up. And the thing too in the film is like the white from the black shifting into the white was just such a stark like shocker. Like, you honestly could not miss it, right? It was there for everybody to see, like something else is going on there. And, burning books, stopping art, defunding, everything like that. Does it sound familiar? And not even just like what's happening now. This is something that people like this have done historically to strip people of knowledge, to strip people of autonomy, to strip people of their creativity, to strip people of their power. Pay attention. Now, I am personally worried about the American public and the public at large, because for me, I don't know if I'm just not seeing it because of the timeline and how the news is actually being suppressed. Everything should be like in disarray globally right now. It's not. We're a little too calm. Anyway, y'all, I've talked enough and I'm actually kind of getting tired. If you want to see more inspiration, the inspiration that I've gotten as a Black HOR writer and creator, you can go to patreon.com/Akinos, or you can go to bswc.heauxtales over in Metaland. And there I'm going to be doing, hopefully next week, I really hope I have time, to showcase for you an explanation of Black HOR Futurism, the show that I did with the BSWC last fall in Berlin, where it does there's a lot of symbolisms in there of what is currently happening right now. This is stuff that I have written in my mind for many years and finally put it into fruition last year. So if you want to see those explanations and my predictions and the things that I'm connecting to stuff like water, access to water and food and emotions, go on over there. You'll see the explanation, really drawn out, long explanations like behind my paywall, but at least you can get some teasers like on my free section of my Substack as well as Patreon. And yeah, I hope to see you over there and engage with some Black HOR art, and see you in class today at 4 p.m. German time when I go live for the first time. Bye.